too nice. Ice cold, get your cups, let me serve like a
Hello YouTube creators and subscribers, I just wanted to thank you all for tuning into my video. Today we're going to be going through another episode on the Mars map. So we have found potential bases in the last episode, and we may have some more bases or interesting findings to uncover today. So let's go and go to the first finding. And now the first finding is labeled as water. Now there is a significant amount of evidence that water was present on Mars sometime at least 1 million years ago. So we're going to go ahead and zoom in and see what this water mark is all about. Alright, so if I remember correctly, I was designating this as water because it potentially could have been eroded, this landmass eroded by large amounts of water or ice that's melting. And over millennia, as the ice melts over and over and the water flows over and over and over, I assumed it made these cuts in the mountain and these interesting ravine type looking patterns. So let's go ahead and look at this one. And if we zoom out, it's almost like mountains on Earth. When they have snow on the top, the snow melts and it starts going down the mountain and it makes these ravines and these water pathways. So there's not much to say. I mean, it could really represent a bunch of different geological events that took place on Mars. One of them being that at one point there was snow or water flowing. It's a pretty interesting finding. So we're going to go ahead and go back out and go to the next one. Alright, so the next one is a block. And the only reason why I picked this one out is because I thought Google may have been censoring something potentially nefarious or interesting behind this block. Or it could have been an error due to the glitch of applying and attaching different photographs together. Because essentially this area on the map is stitched with 3 different photographs, it looks like, from a satellite. But if we zoom in, let's see if we could find anything around that area that may be interesting. So as we could see, there's really nothing shining. There's no circular buildings or anything that would be of suspect or of concern. But we could also scan into these areas to see if there's anything else. Now this kind of sand is pretty interesting. This material could potentially be valued on Earth and be used to create maybe new technology and microchips if it contains some kind of rare earth or out of earth metals. So essentially that is it for this area. A nice little circular rock patterns. Whoa, what is this? This interesting ridge sticking out? Now stuff like this I always find pretty peculiar. And we're going to go ahead and back out and go to the next area. So the next area is Google glitch. Alright, so this is a Google glitch. I don't know what they're hiding behind here, but essentially it's this black looking pyramid. And it just blurs out. It could be due to them trying to stitch up multiple photographs together, but it's always important to investigate such incidents and such sightings. So we're going to go to the next area, this pattern area. I'm going to check out this. Alright, this must have been a comet impact. So that's that area. Next, we're going to go to shining rocks or lights. Okay, so these shining rocks could have potentially been due to the sun hitting them at a certain angle, or it could be that there's snow in this area, or it could be that these metals, these rocks, are containing very luminous metals that are much brighter than the surrounding dirt and rocks in that area in Mars. And so there's different patches of this photograph. Let's look at the yellow area. And as we can see, this looks very much like either shining rocks, such as potential gold, or ice that has not been melted, or some kind of white sand. So, pretty interesting finding. Don't really know what it is, but I wish that I could investigate more. Unfortunately, that's about as much information as we can get. So they do have a photograph here. It's the high resolution of the area, and it says unconformities in the North Polar layered deposits. So we are going to switch to Google Earth. Oops. Darn it. That's not what I wanted to do. Let's go ahead and go back to Mars. I essentially wanted to pull up the photograph of that area to see what it is. So we're going to try that again. We're going to go to the shining rocks. And then we're going to see if we can get that photograph propagated one more time. This file describes part of Earth. Well, I guess, I have no idea. I guess Google Earth thinks it's actually a part of Earth and not Mars, for some reason. So I'm going to stay on Mars. We're going to click on that again, and it's going to zoom in. So I guess it's ice deposits is what they're saying. These are North Polar ice deposits that accumulated on Mars. So next we're going to go to, it looks like buildings or rocks. I'm going to check out buildings or rocks on Mars. Alright, so these interesting buildings or rocks look very different than the surrounding rocks in that area. So if we back out, we could see these weird formation of rocks. Looks like they potentially could have holes in them. And if we zoom in, looks like there's a hole right there, a rock, and then a hole, a rock and a hole. Now it could be some kind of geological natural formation, or it could have been some kind of animal or lifestyle, some kind of fungi that used to exist on Mars in the ancient time period of Mars. But essentially that is it. Pretty interesting rock. So next we're going to go to buildings, on which we already checked out. Nothing much to say there. And then we have trees or mold. Alright, so I call these devices, these looking circular rocks, trees, because they form very similar to forests or trees on Earth. So it could be some kind of mold, it could be some kind of rocks, but a very uniform formation of these things. I'll get better sights of this. I'm gonna let Google load up really quick and let it pull up this image, and we can see what the hell these things are. So they're almost perfectly circular or sphere shaped, and then they're grouped in patterns. 1, 2, 3, 4. Circular, circular, circular. I really don't know what these are. These are pretty interesting rocks. Or algae, fungi, or some kind of other formation. So as always, we're going to let you, the viewer, decide exactly what these things are spotted on Mars. I always look at it from a scientific point of view, that it's some kind of geological event that took place, maybe rocks, or mold, Or maybe it's some kind of presence. Secondary guess, presence of life. So that is it. If you enjoyed what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. And you have a good afternoon or evening.